Yeah, with regards
that vision that you have for this team to be in 2 years' time.
Well, challenging for every trophy there is, of course, and because that's what we should be about. We have to move slowly because we are fifth at the moment. We've been sixth for it seemed like we're never going to move away from that sixth position. There are six very, very good teams that all will challenge for the trophies, but we've got a resources, we've got a infrastructure, we've got a history to move towards the top, I have to say, and that's the only way we should think of things at Man United.
Because it's been a while since the club's been sort of relevant for the title, but more importantly relevant in Europe. I mean, you used to be one of the favourites at the start of the Champions League. I think you were 50-1 earlier this season.
But that's what we have to strive for. If we don't dream, if we don't have that vision of where we're going, I don't then we'll just falter. So for us, or me, I'm only used to this club challenging for trophies. So that's where I see us.
You said about the resources. How many players do you think, new players coming in the summer, would it take to make this team a title challenging team next season?
Well, I think it's about who we've got here as well. If every single player can improve by 1 or 2%, that's many percentages as well. So it's not about X amount of players. It has to be the right one. It has to be the one who fits the personality. It has to fit in with the team. It's not just buy a superstar and that'll fix things and suddenly we go from challenging to be amongst the top 4 and being the champions.
Ole, with regard to Phil Jones, how do you assess, or how does the club assess giving a new long contract to a player like him? It's not his fault, obviously, but he has got an unfortunate, injury record, and it's an issue that comes up a lot with fans. Will he be fit for sort of 5-6 games? So how do you go about assessing that? Projecting it forward.
Well, they were in contract talks before I came in, obviously, because it takes time to get contracts nailed down. Phil has trained every single day since I've come back, and that's key for him, that he's fit, because if he's fit and when he's fit, he'll improve, and he's a good trainer. He's a very good trainer. But injuries, the medical staff, they know that he can manage to be fit all the time. And of course, when you're chasing your tail, like he's been thrown in, played when he's not been 100% fit. Of course, the chance is to get niggles, but he's been available for every single game for me.
There is a confidence that he could have a sustained period of time.
Let's hope so, yeah. And we'd think so, yeah, because the medical staff has also had their view.
You mentioned the top 6, they're all quality teams.
Yeah.
But how confident are you that you can get into that top 4 and stay there coming into the season with the run you're on in particular?
Well, I'm very confident that we, because I was from the outside looking in, but now when I'm inside the group, they do show me that they have the character, they have the belief, they have the quality to be just improving, and that's what we've got to think about, is to improve, because we cannot, as I said, just be happy. We got 3 points against Leicester, because we didn't play particularly well, but the attitude's been, we know we didn't play well, we have to improve to get to where we are, and that gives me the confidence and belief, what I've seen at the training ground.
When you say you've got a vision for 2 years,
are
you saying it's going to be
3 years, 4 years, 5 years? It's just, but you don't. It's difficult to plan 5 years time, of course, but you need to plan short term. Sorry, I stopped your question. That's a couple of years.
It's not. Are you saying it's 2 years before United are serious title contenders, or should fans be thinking next season? Because Pep Guardiola said you're still in it this season, by the way.
Well, I think we're too far behind this year, obviously. But you got to catch up with the teams ahead of us, especially City, Liverpool. But now Tottenham, they've really they're in the running as well. So obviously, it's 3 teams that they've been far ahead, but we've beaten Tottenham, so we know that we are capable of that, but we need the consistency. But 2 years' time is long enough, but also short enough to say we've got the possibility to make a big difference in our preparation, in everything in 2 years. Next year, you always hope. You always hope, of course. I came in from Molde. They were 10th 2010, and 2011 we won the league. So you cannot never say never.
Do you think this team's becoming intimidating again, or do you think there's that fear factor around Man United again?
You've got to ask the oppositions. We hope so, but you've got to ask them. We don't. I'm not going to talk about that. How other teams feel against. I was thinking about that the other day actually. Because you know the amount of hours the analysis team, the coaches, and us, we sit and watch the opposition, hours and hours and hours during the week. And I was thinking, what do teams look at for when they play against us? What do they think about us now? But I was thinking, I'm not going to tell them to fear us. Of course, we don't want them to fear us. We want them to lose against us.
Mike Phelan said that he feels this squad, this team, can win everything. Do you share that view, that with the potential you've got here, the age profile and everything? That the
club and the team can, yes. And if you look at the players, the age of them, we're young. They've got plenty of development in them. But we also need some experienced players to stay and step up and really become the leaders. Paul now is Jesse. They're at that age when we expect them to take that responsibility and not just be a young boy that floats around. So this club, this team, yeah, definitely.
Ole, you've spoken about going one game at a time and living in the here and now. But how much are you looking at the big 6 weeks ahead where you play important games in the league, the Champions League and the FA Cup? How much does that have to play on your mind when you're selecting teams?
It has to, and as I said, I think it was last week I did that interview, but I've always been that way, that I plan within a certain, there's 1 or 2 changes to that team maybe, or to that, I plan many weeks ahead. But that is dependent on form, injuries, sickness. It might change if we lost that game or we won that game. I might make a different decision, because you always leave it until the last day really. But I've got a bit of a view on how the team will look like against Chelsea, Liverpool, PSG. But I have to make, the closer you get to a Fulham game, the more focused you are on just to that one. After Leicester, it was just Fulham, but you had to look at, you had to go to France to watch PSG. It's just one of those things that us coaches and manager, we have to do that, but the players just have to focus on the next one. And as I said, Fulham, that's the character revealer. All these so-called big games, no problem. That's they will look after themselves.
Okay, thanks guys.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, Ole's press conference in full there.